Well, look what just came in. Now, I'm just getting ready to power wash them. That's why there's water on the floor. I'm going to bring the hose through the garage. Okay, this guy has a homestead, okay? It's on the river, no electricity, flowing artesian well for fresh water. It is every outdoorsman's dream. And these two mowers have been out on the farm since 1974. And they just have campouts, and then they get the kids together and they mow the lawn, and these two mowers have been doing that since back then. But they look like twins. So I think they're beautiful. This one doesn't even have a control cable, eh? An on-off button and a throttle. Now I know Ashuri and some of the others love the fancy mowers, but you have to respect these. I mean, look at the simplicity. Now the only thing I'm really not fond of on these motors is the fact, pardon me, I'm moving around too much, is the fact that these ones have the choke-o-matic system where they uses the vacuum in the carburetor to pull open the choke. So the choke's always closed, and then when the engine starts, it opens the choke. So let's just have a look at them both before we power wash them, because I'm a curious kind of a feller. And we'll see if they've got any fire in them. And I'm gonna, you know, like they turn over and run. All right, that's the fuel from both of them. So the fuel looks about a year old, and just a nice amount of stuff, you know, a few pieces of sawdust and stuff in the bottom. Not bad. So now I don't even care if I'm not worried about them running, so I'm not going to put fuel into them. But let's just see if they fire. So let's get a spark indicator. See if this first one has a spark. I bet you it does. It's just being stubborn. Could even be a foul plug. Or could be anything. Okay. Oh, there's a good spark there. Let's have a look at that plug. I know I wasn't going to do any mechanical work on these until I got them cleaned up. But I think that's a CJ8. That's for you, Road King. That's a pretty bad looking plug. Whew. I'm almost tempted to throw a different plug in there. That looks pretty bad. $17 JLM, that's more like it. That'd be a bigger one. Let's just throw this 17 in. You just want to light the gas, eh? In fact, I'm just going to pull the cord and see if we get a spark. This is probably where I'll get a shock, right? Oh, got one already. Oh, yeah, there's a good spark there. Oh, crazy. Holy moly. That kind of got me woke up. So it should, if the valves are going up and down, it should go. Okay, let's see if that plug was so bad. Well, that was an easy fix. Okay, so you guys know how I've been preaching most of my YouTube career that, oh, don't worry about the plug, it'll be good. This year, I have had more plugs go bad, or be bad, or have been bad, than I've ever seen in my entire life. What is going on? Oh well, kind of fun. Now I'm going to put some gas in both machines, and I'm going to tighten the motor on this one, and we might have runners. Okay, I put a good plug into this one. I tightened up the motor on the housing base on this one, and it started pretty good. So now I'm just going to see if it does it again. So let's just do this. Well, I hope it's a loose blade on that one, or that sounds just about terminal. And this one. Okay, so now the major problem with this one is the wheels. And let's just have a look and see what's happening underneath here. I hope we don't have a bent crank or something. Yes, there's gas spilling. What do we got here? I'm just checking to see if it's the blade that's loose or what we got happening here. Why she's knocking. Blade is not loose. Someone put a mark there. No, maybe not. Oh, it's okay. It sure has a knock to it, doesn't it? I wonder if this one is loose as well. I will just do a quick tighten on those. I'll be back in a bit. Thanks. Well, both mowers had loose mounting bolts into the frames, and now they're not knocking anymore. I think the blades are probably way off balance. But you have to consider that they've been whacking small trees and so anyway, they're both running. This one probably has diaphragm issues, but that one runs like a champ. So we're just going to take a break now, and I'll be back. You won't notice the break. And we're going to do a power wash now. I've got them both running, right? Okay, it's the next day, back on the little lawnmower project. I got to get the slime off them. I don't like working with all that slime on there. So we're going to got them both running. This one runs poorly. I think the choke is on all the time, which was why that spark plug was completely fouled over. Okay, I'm just putting the diaphragm back onto the tank. You have to have that spring on the lever. I'll show you something else in a minute. And this, not like the pulse jet carburetors, the spring and the cover go onto the carburetor kind of upside down almost, eh? Do you see that right there? I think you can see that. So now, if we can do this, I'm just going to get a few screws started. Good. And then in behind this little door here, is the choke arm. And you see how that connects. That choke arm comes right off the diaphragm up through the carburetor, and it connects to the choke arm like that. Okay? Very, very, very important. This is the diaphragm. That's the spring that's underneath. Can you see that? And this is the little arm that goes up and into that little door, and this hooks into the hook of the choke, and this diaphragm actually goes up and down, activating and deactivating the choke. So that's all you need to know. I just thought I'd add this. Thanks. And then this little guy is keyed in 2 places, and it just goes back up on the top of the carburetor, just like do. Yeah. You just know it when something clicks in, eh? I'll get my regular screwdriver. This one can be beveled. It doesn't have to be a super duper one. So that spring with the cup on it, with the protector, spring protector, that's a really common problem. People put them on the gas tank instead of inside the carburetor. Okay, let's just do the circle here. Now the jet for the carburetor. There it is. I cleaned it already. Screw it in. And once it seats, I back it out. And just do it a couple of times. I learned that trick from Zippo Varga. And what have we got left? Not a lot. The jet. The jet. Oh, we need a dew hammer. I don't know, who's it? Okay, there's the jet with a seal, right? And we need to put that on with a 1/2-inch wrench. Is it ever nice to work with clean equipment? Okay, now let's put this on the mower. Now there's going to be lots of linkages and stuff I'm going to have to figure out, and I'll show you that when I'm done. Okay, so we tightened up, or we put the bolt on that holds the tank. At the same time, you put the bolt on that holds the tank at the front of the motor. And then there's the spring from the governor, right? The wind blows on this thing, and as the engine goes slower, it puts more gas, and as it goes faster, less gas. That's how that works. Whoops, that's how that works. So harder blow, less blow. Just feels a tiny bit sticky, but that's okay. Some of this stuff you just have to accept. Now, also remember, underneath there, to get the wire connected that turns off the motor. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Right there, eh? And one more thing, as we put the lid on, the shutoff bar has to go on at the same time as the shroud, right there. So that's a two-handed job, and I'll show you that when that's done. So let's just give it a go. If everything's good, I'll change out this handle to a new handle from an old motor. It's kind of exciting. I'm not going to prime it, I'm just going to try it. The sun's coming in the door. That's how long a day it's been. Used to be in the window, now it's coming in the door. Okay. Are you with me? Not quite. Should go. Turn it on. Oh, there's no choke. that's encouraging. Well, that's okay. It did something. I'm going to just turn that jet in a half turn. Because we don't know where we are. All right, that's great. That's a good start. I got to get some oxygen in here.